Alrighty guys, so you know the deal. It is about that time. We gotta do the tier list. Gotta update it a little bit. As you guys can see, I've added an extra layer to it because I do want to make a few changes. Drop a certain character, push up certain characters. Obviously with the recent updates, we have gotten buffed up characters, and units where they were before don't deserve to be there anymore. So that's why I've added an extra slot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push Kang up to S, because he's a pretty solid dark attacker, and I do feel like he's being bumped up now. Obviously with the recent buffs, it's kind of expected on to give Chill the appreciation and the respect where he's in right now, being a fantastic breaker now, as well as a tank for the wind attribute. Lee Bora, I mean, technically speaking, she was already good as is, but yeah, she really is just, as I've said before, hard carrying the dark element, of course. Now, with all of that, I'm also going to be pushing Choi down a bit, only because Suyun is going to be the better fire unit to take, and obviously with Choi, you know, his performance isn't, I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's going to get knocked down to S plus at the very least. I don't think he's going to be there now at SS. Just a personal take on that one, but he's still good. He's still good. I'm not going to take that away from him. But I think for the most part, this is where I'm going to leave things. Alright, so we've got Go and we've got Hansemi, of course. Now, Hansemi, again, perfect character for the wind attribute. If you're trying to complete your wind team, then this is the character that you are needing. Now, of course, she works hand on hand perfectly with Amamiya. Obviously, she also did kind of introduce, especially going forward with the update itself, mana recovery is now a thing, and it will continue to be a thing with what the developers have in store for us, with obviously substats and whatnot now being a thing when it comes to mana recovery. But obviously Hansemi herself, it's a fantastic, obviously it's predominantly the second skill and how effective it is, because I mean, there's shield play, there's mana recovery play going on, it's a field effect, so it affects everyone, so in a team fight it's going to be extremely clutch and a bit of a safe haven for not just Sun Jin Woo, but you know, if there's other teammates on the field, of course. She does provide that immortality play on that third dupe, of course, and then ultimately, as I've stated, you know, with Amamiya, this is kind of hand in hand the support character for her, to provide her with the extra damage, provide her with that mana play, and ultimately keep her alive, so that way she can keep on dishing out damage, of course. So a very, very good healer, and the consistency of healing, should I say. I think she outbeats every other healer in terms of the healing amount, from what I've experienced. Just want to put that out there. So, I mean, it's kind of clear as day on where we're kind of placing our healers, because as it stands right now with the game itself, all the healers are good, they're vital, they provide amazing buffs, along with healing, of course. And yeah, when it comes to the DPS characters, each of them have their pair. You've got Min with Cha Yen, you've got Mei Lin with Alicia, you've got Hansemi for Amamiya. Obviously Suyun, she's kind of still waiting on her support, but till that day comes, yeah, it's kind of clear as day that she was going to be classed as an SS character, of course. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we are going to be keeping these packs of characters. I should say that when it comes to Amamiya, obviously I've got her maxed out, but I will say with me even classing her as A1, even if you, sorry, A5, even if you have her initial kit, or even the A1, I mean, that's, she's still, again, with the initial kit that she has, it's still an SS tier, like she's still top tier. So just want to clarify that in terms of duping wise. I mean, clearly if you max her out, then you know it's kind of a given on why she's going to be high tier. But even by getting an additional dupe, and because of her kit is still being super effective, I still rate her to be as SS, of course. Okay, Go. Ooh, my boy Go. This is an interesting one. Boom. What? Nah, I'm only kidding. That's way too low. Now we'll put him in S. Oh my goodness. So when it comes to Go, at the very beginning, this is kind of where I deemed him fit, of course, because, I mean, ultimately, with this part of the passive, which I'm grateful that they actually did provide us for his initial kit, does help out to where you can actually, straight off the bat, actually do a decent amount of damage, again, effectively coming from the core attack, of course. Now, once we get the additional dupe, which everyone can get, of course, that then bumps him up to S+, because obviously I've done my showcase, I've done gameplay footage of it, but this A1 pretty much works in a similar fashion to how Jinchul works. When it comes to whenever he dashes, his core attack is then activated, so that way you can really pile on doing your second skill, then you can do your core attack, then you can do your first skill, which then activates your second skill, which then if you dash, you then activate your core attack. So there's a big I mean, first of all, good amount of damage to be applied, which is fantastic, but more importantly, the breakage, the quickness and the effectiveness of the breakage that we are seeing. Obviously with the recent buff he had, it makes him even more better, of course. And so in a similar fashion to that, what they have done is with that A1, they've made it so that now if you activate skill 1 or skill 2, yes, then it goes back to your core attack being active. And now the thing about Go is this man hits pretty hard, especially with the percentages that he's working with. So not only are we benefiting from the consistency of, the breakage consistency isn't quite there yet because that requires further more dupes, but the consistency of damage is there, which is pretty solid because the core attack, from when I did my last testing, was at what, level 4, level 5, his skill was dropping like 1/4 a little bit more than that, of course. So if you can cater furthermore to that, then yeah, you can really push up the core amount of damage, being the big hitter, and then obviously you can pile that on. Not to say that the skills don't hit hard either. I mean, the skills do hit hard. I'm just saying in an overall manner, you've got a lot of attacks popping off in a quick amount of consistency to then deal a great deal amount of damage, right? Now that's A1, and so that's kind of why I will put him in the S+. The reason why I'm putting him at SS, because one, he deserves to be there. Actually, I'm going to put him up. Now, the reason why I'm putting him at SS is because once you get to the A3 mark, that is when you get the full package, right? That is when not only are you getting the cycle of damage going off from the skills to the core to the skills to the core, right? Sounds like a little bit of a... Okay, I was about to sing then. Anyway, the break. Now we're getting the full package, because from all of this, we're now affecting the breakage side of things, which is also another huge thing for Go, because that's his role. He's there to absolutely obliterate the breakage bar for the enemies. And so by getting him to A2, you've got that 20% effectiveness, which affects the whole kit. A3 then applies the almighty break onto the ultimate. Now with that you can also tank a little bit more, which is fantastic, but that then gives his full kit breakage coverage, and you're maximizing your break effectiveness because you've got that plus 20%. So that is Go in a nutshell, having full break support along with full, well, not full damage support, because there's furthermore that you can do to support his damage, but you pretty much got the main gist of it in terms of him being able to do like 500,000 damage and whatnot, right? And again, that's me testing him out at like level 4, level 5 skill level, right? So you can further up that more, of course. So that's why with Go himself, he is that high tier, but it does require him going to A3. So just a reminder. So just a reminder. A0, A1, A3. And that I'll say A3 to A5. Even with A5, I wouldn't push him up as SS+, but you know, he's most definitely high tier when it comes to SS, because then obviously finally you can really effectively get more for your money in terms of with your ultimate, regardless of whether or not if the enemy has a breakage bar, and if you or doesn't have a breakage bar, you can get buffed from it either or. So if they do have a breakage bar, you get that 60% increase. If they don't have a breakage bar, then you get a critical hit damage increase of 30%, with a QTE damage by 150%, that's for 20 seconds, of course. So still really effective, of course, and again helping him out in the damage department, of course, since at A3 and below being A2, that's kind of you being done and dusted for the breakage support, of course. So that is kind of like my overall look at things on where I am going to be leaving it at right now. So yeah, I think I'm comfortable leaving that. And again, the way I look at Go is the exact same way I look at Jiwoo, of course. It's kind of like similar. I don't know. That's the vibe that I get. Whenever I run him, I just get the vibe of Jiwoo, the way I kind of decide to go about building her up, being that high. Because she also drops a good amount of damage, and the consistency of skills for her too is there. So these two, for me, just come off as somewhat similar. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to leave things at when it comes to the tier list and the newest characters that we've had. So yeah, again, we'll see what happens with the upcoming like what do you call it, dark characters, yeah, and see what role that they're playing.